Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I had the wrong account. What's going on, Kel McCoy? So tonight, it's all about excuses or results. You can't have both. And my question to you is are you 3 feet from gold? What's up, Sarah Holland? Welcome. So hey, I've been brewing on this all day long. So give me one moment to get my little camera adjusted here. And hey, all of you need to hop on and definitely make sure you follow Sarah Holland. What's up, Darren? Hey, Sarah, post your stuff. I'm going to put it out there for you. So Sarah is a young lady I came into contact with through one of my mastermind, and she has an amazing book coming out called Profits, and it's all about how to use Periscope and how to use it and to make it work for you. I have gained a lot of knowledge specifically just by using her techniques and things that she implemented or mentioned in her ebook, and that has been extremely helpful for me. So hey, check it out. So tonight's going to be rather interesting. I'm pretty much have been stewing over this, and I would love to share it with you. And here's what we're going to discuss tonight. We're going to talk about 3 feet from gold. What's up, brother, man? And are you going to quit? And I'm going to share with you, of course, with your permission, what has been helpful for me, where I've been, what I've been through, perhaps, and maybe some of it will relate to you. And then you may say, Brian, shit, you don't have anything on me. I've been through way worse stuff than that, and that is amazing. Okay? So I actually have a surprise and a present for one. I say lucky, but I choose to say blessed. I believe blessed is a much more appropriate term versus lucky. So if you don't mind, please share it with your people, because what I'm going to be sharing with you tonight could be some stuff that could change your life. And just a real quick question is, first off, do I have permission to be Brian with you, because I don't know how to be Frank? What's up, E? Thank you, my brother. Do I have permission to be completely open and honest with you, whatever that may entail, in the form of language and in the form of stories and all that fun stuff? Water. Awesome. There you go. So hey, there's Sarah's stuff. Check out her stuff on Periscope. You can get her ebook now, but definitely get that periprofit.com. Extremely helpful for your Periscope business and just for an understanding of how to market more efficiently. And trust me, I am not a marketer. I just understand my message and am completely comfortable with sharing it. So having someone who is skilled and can help you to take that and put it into a vehicle that helps you to get your information out to serve more people, ultimately that's what it's about, because you can have an amazing message and no vehicle and nobody knows about it. So pairing up with people who understand things that you are not good at is one of the best forms of your time and utilization of your resources that you could possibly do. So check it out. So here's the deal. At the end of this tonight, I'm going to be giving away one spot, one chair in my 6-week program, where I'm going to be taking a group of blessed individuals through a little journey in the form of nutrition, mindset, skill sets, and teach you the tools, tricks, and knowledge, skill sets, and mindsets, and information that I have learned over the years, investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in this real estate between my ears. And I'm going to share it with you specifically. So here's a little quick, welcome, Johnson. Here's a little quick just story. A lot of you may have already heard kind of my story, and then you may not. This specifically is for you, my live viewers, and then also some people that are going to be watching this on a replay. One of the things to consider here and to remember is that the whole title of this is 3 Feet from Gold. If you haven't read the book by Napoleon Hill, I highly encourage you to do it. Napoleon Hill has also written the book Think Great, Lose Weight. That's one of our brands. Matter of fact, yeah, if you're choosing to connect with Chris and I, go to thinkgreatloseweight.com. That's our business, our website. Connect with me on Facebook. You can connect with me on Think Great Lose Weight on Facebook. Those are the best ways to get a hold of me. And then also you have Periscope at The Brian Johnson, and then my Twitter, which is Brian TGLW, which is Brian Think Great Lose Weight. Now, Think Great, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. There you go. Thank you. Think and Grow Rich is a huge book. It is actually a book that has changed the lives of many. And if you read it and you implement the information, meaning you execute it, it will help you. immensely. So the whole title, 3 Feet from Gold, is what we're going to talk about tonight, because I know all of you as entrepreneurs, you may have already hit it big and are doing amazing and all your fruits have already paid out, but then you also may be in a position of saying, holy shit, what is going on? And why is my life not where I would like for it to be? And what is the holdup? I've invested all this time, all these action steps, all this consistent movement forward, and still I pull my hands in my pocket and pull my pockets out. There's nothing but pocket land. They've been through all of those. It's all a part of the journey, and making sure you're aligned with your mission, you're aligned with the proper people. And here's one thing that I'll tell you. My friend here and one of my clients, Jonathan Sprinkles, America's Connection Coach, speaks for Verizon and speaks for Disney and AT&T and all kinds of amazing people. But he told me this one time, Ellen Sparkles. That's funny, Jonathan Sprinkles. He goes, you know what, Brian? No matter who you are and where you're trying to go, a relationship can always get you there faster. And I completely agree with him. And no matter what, no matter who you are, there has been one person that has been a catalyst in your life to help you go to the next level. Every person has a person or a one thing that has helped them to get to that next level. So what I would like to hear from you now is, who is that person? Just type it in. If it's your dad, if it's your mom, if it's neither one of those, just put in who is your one person. Question is, who is your one person that has changed your life? Son, Ellen Sparkles. Parents, I would have to say my mom, brother, and my dad. And my mom has always pounded in my thick skull sometimes. Attitude was a big deal. Tony Robbins, what's up, Jeff? I recognize your name and your face today from having your little hat on, from doing your little events. I appreciate you taking time to invest it with me. And I do not take of that lightly, so I will be sure to invest heavily into your brain space tonight with some very valuable wisdom if you choose to accept it. Okay, so a little bit about who I am. So currently I'm 37 years young, and it's not about me. I just choose for you to understand where I'm coming from so you can relate to me better and understand how we are connected and what that common thread is. So with your permission, I'm going to share with you fully. I'm 37 years young. I started in the health and wellness field when I was 7. I used to work out with my dad when I was little bitty in the garage, and that's just what I did. I had a membership to World's Gym in the 5th grade, where I started reading up on bodybuilding and looking at magazines and watching VHS tapes and beta tapes at that time, and this is kind of what I did. At a very young age, I had a real knack for it. I was always getting asked questions on things and what to... Even when I didn't know, I guess I still looked like I did know. Well, as I got into my early 20s, that's when I really dove down into it. I went to school for college, sometimes, for 89 hours. And I said, this sucks. This is not for me. So I dropped out of college 89 hours into my experience and realized that's not what I wanted to do. And after that, I went back to Houston, started working for 24 Hour Fitness as a trainer, and worked my way up to managing training departments for about 7 years. That's where I actually met Chris. Now, during that time frame is when I got introduced to a lot of personal development information. And that's where I really got a lot of my accredited information, like the stuff you see hanging on the back of my wall. That's some of that stuff. I really started digging into holistic nutrition. And I really started digging into understanding why certain foods do certain things. Because for some reason, I had a subconscious void that when I would go to the store, I would know that all those foods in there with all the different colors and the shapes, I knew they had to have some type of purpose in our life and in our body. I just didn't know what until this magic event happened. I think everyone has a place in time where they hit so much pain, there's like, I choose differently for my life, and today is going to be that catalyst. Well, the catalyst in my life was my dad coming down with prostate cancer. My dad came down with prostate cancer. I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. I had no idea, and so much so that I reached out to all my resources, like all my naturopathic doctors, my chiropractor, all my natural health professionals, and none of them had any information that even sounds somewhat logical, to the extent that some of them would say, hey, you need to get a sleeping bag, dump a bunch of castor oil in it, and sleep in it. I was like, Okay, and is there anything to do with the type of water that he's drinking, the type of foods that he's eating, maybe the thoughts, maybe the pollution that's going on in our environment? Nothing around that? Nothing. So with that being said, that led me on a wild goose chase. It led me on a goose chase that I wasn't even, what's going on, cool kid? It led me on a goose chase that I wasn't even aware I was going on. So what happened was, as that happened, I really started digging into trying to figure out the missing pieces to my information so that I could support people to a high level, to the highest level possible is my desire in life, and that is my mission. And I am on my mission, living my path and my purpose every day. And if you are not, I encourage you to get clear with yourself and get real with where you're at and figure out what that looks like for you. Everyone's different. So it's completely okay. Wherever you're at is your perfect journey. Loving, appreciating, respecting, and taking full responsibility and responsibility for where you're at, meaning not reactionary, but just sitting back and saying, all right, where am I at? What is different? And what do I get to change and do differently, right? So as my dad came down with prostate cancer, I went on to this wild goose chase of trying to figure out what foods, what's going on, Pete, and things would help my dad. That led me into one of my teachers, Jeff Primack, and doing about 4,000 hours of disease-specific nutrition reversals. So a lot of the videos and things that you hear me talking about, a lot of the stuff you see me post, that's where all that information comes from, like why kiwis reverse asthma, why asparagus is your top detoxifier, why you can eat the avocado seed to reverse asthma. And here's my story to the clout of what foods can do. So for me, for a long time, I had mild hypertensive, which means that my blood pressure was a 140/90. 140/90 is mild hypertensive. Like you almost get to have blood pressure medication. If I went to see a doctor, that's what he would have told me. So what I did over the last 2 months is I basically pulled out most of my meats. I'm mainly vegan and vegetarian. And don't get me wrong, I still have steak. I still have burgers and pizza. On occasions, it's just not my first choice. And it's not what I crave. And it's not what I feel best off of. So what I did when I actually changed my foods out and started using vegan and vegetarian foods, my blood pressure did some amazing things. So did my thought process. So did my aches, my pains, my hernias. Everything started functioning differently. So when I went to the store about, it's probably been about 3 weeks ago, I literally, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most stressful day you could have on a human being, I had one. Maybe a 10.5. So that night I went to the grocery store, and for those of you who don't know, my favorite pastime is going to the grocery store. That's what I do for relaxation, as crazy as it may sound. That's like my home. Okay? Welcome, Miss Hippie. PT, we appreciate you. So when I went and had my blood pressure checked that night, my blood pressure was a 127/72 with a 72 pulse. Now, I don't know about you. For me, because I check my blood pressure every time I go to the grocery store, that was remarkably off of the charts in a good way compared to what I have always been used to. And now here's the deal. I'm not opposed to anything. I'm all about balance, and I'm also about what works best. And what I found was that by me adjusting my foods and taking in more vegan and vegetarian options, not only did it help my blood pressure, not only did it help my stress levels, not only did it help my complexion, not only did it help my soreness, not only did it help my thoughts, which was crazy, and Chris will be on the phone, and this is what I was talking to Chris about. So for a lot of times, those of you who know me well, I can be kind of irritating. I can get kind of irritated, and I can be kind of short on occasions. I'm not perfect. I'll tell you that. Front. Okay? So there will be times when I'll be talking to Chris, and I'll be eating turkey as my food, and we're talking on Skype doing some work, and I would notice that I would get short. I would get agitated. I would be snappy. Now, I was reacting, and my responsibility was to step back and say, oh, wow, I notice that I am acting in a manner that I don't approve and don't choose to act. Why am I acting this way? I had no response. I had no reason. And here's what I did notice. As soon as I pulled turkeys out of my diet, and I was eating turkey for probably 80% of my protein source because that's what I quote-unquote liked. As soon as I pulled turkey out of my diet, you wouldn't believe what happened to my brain and to my thought process and my functionality. Literally, I was totally calm, totally collected, not agitated in the slightest. Very humble, very, hey, that's good, I like that idea, how can I change, or what do you have some feedback on this, rather than me being a little is the best way that I could say this. And here's what I ask you this. By a show of a 1 or a yes or a 2, one is yes, 2 is no. Have you ever heard of the term cross-species transference? Have you ever heard of cross-species transference? No. Awesome. Anybody else? No. No. Jeff, you're going to love this. All of you are going to love this because honestly, I've been doing this for 30 years. I have over 80,000 hours invested in what I do. And not because of old pat on the back. It's because of I love and I'm super geeked out and passionate about what I do. I could sit in my office all day long and study and learn and be enthusiastic, desiring nothing else, and be completely like just fat as a tick on a dog, just happy and hanging out for the ride. Excuse the expression, that's the first thing that came up to me. So cross-species transference. I invite you to consider that everything on the planet in the form of plants, animals, human beings, leaves on the ground, rocks, keyboards, water, everything. Everything has an energy signature. Can we all agree on that? Yes or no? Everything has an energy signature. Can we agree on that? So far we got yes, so far we got yes, so far we got yes. Yes. And we are missing one. Yes. Good to see you, Kel, somewhat. Smiley face. So check it out. Okay? Awesome. Miss Hippie. Yes. Cool kid. Good to see both of you. And welcome, Miss Hippie. I don't think I've seen you yet. So, hey, connect with me on Think Great Lose Weight on Facebook and Brian Johnson so we can stay collected. And I've hit my 5,000 mark on my personal friends, so go to Think Great Lose Weight. That way we can connect. Okay? So cross-species transference simply means this, that anytime we ingest something, doesn't matter what it is, that energy signature is going to come into our body, our home, our domain, and it's either going to jive or not jive with our own personal energy signature. Can we agree with that, or do we disagree with that? Agree. Makes sense. Agree. Jeff. Awesome. So here's what I noticed. So when we take on something, and for example, we're going to use turkey because that's what I was eating, okay? When I would eat turkey, I would notice I would get aggressive. Now, if you understand this, and you've heard me talk a lot about body language, aggressiveness comes from fear. Ultimately, it comes from fear. That's the only reason why someone will be aggressive is because they feel fearful, maybe not accepted, maybe someone may be superior to them, whatever it may be. On a subconscious level, it comes from fear. Okay? When I would be talking to Chris and doing work and I would be eating turkey, automatically I would get aggressive with my thoughts. And I'm like, why do I feel like this? I didn't feel like this 10 minutes ago. I felt great. I was nice and communicative and very clean-minded, doing our work, getting along fine, no issue, no resistance. And what happened was, as soon as I started eating turkey, all of a sudden I started getting irritated. I'm like, well, that's interesting. So what I found out is that as soon as I pulled my turkey out and I put vegan and vegetarian options in, no issue. Completely clear-minded. Better dreams. My nervous system felt great. I never felt like taking a nap after I ate my food. My body felt nice and energized, like I could literally go and work out right after I ate. A lot of times when I'm eating chicken and turkey and meats like that I don't feel that way. A lot of times I feel like I need to take a nap because everything is just draining my enzyme pool. So what I'm inviting you to consider today is to be extremely mindful of what you eat and how you feel when you eat it. And here's the thing. You could be 3 feet from gold right now. And if you're not willing to listen to the biofeedback that your body is giving you, you're not going to get there. So be open-minded. Be willing to adjust. Be willing to receive feedback to be your best. There are people that you're going to run into on your journey, and this may be one of these conversations where somebody has already been where you're at. There's 2 ways to learn, and I wrote about this today in our book. You can learn by experience and you can learn by wisdom. My suggestion to you is to learn by wisdom, which means if you're learning by wisdom, you would take this information that Brian's talking about, you would implement it in your life, because I more than likely have been where you were trying to go and have been through the sticky parts that you're at, which means if you were learning by wisdom, you would learn from my mistakes, execute the information, move forward and enjoy your day, and go past, collect your $200 without going to jail. No pun intended. If you were learning by experience, which means what's going on in the world, which means if you were learning by experience, you would say, you know what? I don't know, Brian, maybe he has something that he may be talking about. It may have some truth. But you know, for me, I got to learn by experience, and I'm going to try this out myself to see how I feel. Okay, that's learning by experience. Now, I'll tell you this much. I've done both in my life. Learning by experience has cost me dearly. It's cost me being fat 3 different times, 250. It's cost me being in jail. It's cost me being suicidal. It's cost me all kinds of stuff because I wasn't willing to listen and take advice from people who had already been there. My mom, my dad, my mentors, whomever. I was one of those people who says, you know what, I need to learn from myself. And I did, just got there a little bit slower than most people. So what I'm inviting you to do today is to consider this. You may be 3 feet from gold right now in your health, your spiritual connection, your physical body, your career. If that's the case, you're never going to know unless you keep pushing forward. But if you keep pushing forward with the wrong information, the wrong coaching, the wrong systems, lack of persistence, or pushing the wrong door. Like you may, for example, be trying to open a door and push it forward when instead every door that we go through in life mentally opens towards you. You don't have to kick it in. If you notice resistance, something is out of line. Give yourself permission to say, I wonder what this means. Take a minute, breathe, sit into your chair, take some breaths into your stomach and say, God, what do you have for me here? What is it that I get to learn? Breathe into it. Pay attention to your body. Use your body language. If your body language is tight, if your stomach's tight, that's fear. If your chest and your throat's tight, that's sadness. If your back and your neck's tight, that's anger. And all of that is amazing. That means your body and your emotional system is doing what God intended for it to do, is to give us feedback on where we're functioning at. And most importantly, what's returning. So if I have sadness, throat, I will. If I have sadness in my throat, in my chest, what's returning to me? So what's the opposite of sadness? This is your turn to chime in. Question is, what's the opposite of sadness? Yes, and more importantly than that, whose joy and whose happiness? I'm going to add to it. My joy, that's right, and my happiness. Very important, because you'll find, and especially the amount of people that I get to deal with and doing emotional coaching with them, most people are disconnected. So when I ask them, whose joy, whose sadness? They're most of the times not in their own picture. Not wrong. This just means somewhere down their path, they've become disconnected. There's either an experience that has happened where they have not loved themselves, not forgiven themselves, not forgiven a mom, a dad, whatever it means. It's okay. It's completely okay. It's where we're at on our journey. Now, you have the option, since I'm presenting to you the information, are you going to choose to execute it? Are you going to learn by wisdom? Or are you going to learn by experience? What I invite you to do right now, because this is the only time that we have, is to take full responsibility for exactly where you are at in your mind, body, and your spirit. Give yourself permission to forgive whomever you may be holding on to. Because ultimately, think about this. If we have unforgiveness, and we all had it. Look, I've had it. I'm completely honest. I'm not perfect, and I am forgiven. If you have a glass of poison in your hand and you are pissed off at someone else, you're like, oh, dang it, I'm tired of that guy. He's doing this. He's done this to me many times over. And every time this happens, he does this. Or it might be on the other foot. Dang it, every time she does this, and she does that, and she says this. What I invite you to consider is by you holding on to that grudge and you holding on to that resentment, it's very acidic. It's like you taking a glass of poison and drinking it and expecting them to get sick from it. Ultimately, we're the only ones that's affected by that. That other person more than likely isn't losing any sleep over the situation. So what I invite you to do now, if you have any of this floating around, it's completely okay. Love it. Give yourself permission to forgive it. For example, I love my unforgiveness into my forgiveness of my husband, of my son, of my mom, of my dad, of myself. And I give myself permission to move forward. Now here's what you're going to find. And here's the whole deal. If you're looking to be 3 feet from gold and crush through the wall and get your goal, here's the deal. In order for you to resurrect emotional patterns, you have to do it in the right here, right now. Which means if I'm using language that positions me in yesterday or tomorrow, can we all agree that none of those times exist? The only time that exists is right now? Is that agreeable? Yes? Bam. Perfect. With that being said, here is the deal. If you're writing notes, write this down. If you're not writing notes, I encourage you to change your method of operation now and write this down. I'm going to give you 10 extra seconds because what I'm about to share with you is what people pay me a significant amount of money to teach them. This is the difference between working right and working hard. Learning by experience or learning by wisdom. I'm about to teach you how to work right and learn by wisdom and completely change your life right now with this one very tool and mindset I'm going to share with you. Are you ready? Yes? Yes? Eric, you know that. Yes. Ready, what's that mean? Yes, I'm ready. Alright, so check it out. Now that we have all agreed that the only time that exists is right now, here is the holy grail to transmuting emotions that are less than what you are choosing to experience. Here's the deal. If I say, for example, that I am feeling angry, that's okay. But here's the deal. Feeling angry is a state, meaning yesterday, meaning tomorrow. None of those times exist. Instead, I invite you to try this. I feel anger. Awesome. That's right here, right now. Now that I have quote-unquote named a thing and captured it to where it's in my present moment, this is where all my power is. If you take away anything today to be 3 feet from gold and to get your victory, invest your time in the right now, changing your future. Not investing it in your past, wondering why your future is not any different. Invest it in right now. Like, I feel anger. And I love my anger into my forgiveness of person XYZ, of myself. And I give myself permission to reclaim my authority. When we are angry at someone, we are giving all our power away. We are being a victim to a T. Meaning life happens to you. Meaning your left shoulder is elevated. Meaning you're having issues on the left side of your body. Meaning your thyroid is jacked and you're on medications. Hypothyroidism is mom. Hyperthyroidism is dad. Left side issues. You are being a victim, meaning you have unforgiveness with somewhere, someone, somehow, some way, and it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you give yourself permission to rectify that by forgiving them right now, which is the only time that we exist. So if I say I feel anger, and I give myself permission to forgive my mom, my dad, for the situation that happened when I was 7 years old, for the situation that happened last week with my husband, I give myself permission to forgive him. And I give myself permission to forgive myself. And I reclaim my authority. And all of a sudden your body's going to go, I will. I'm seeing differently. You're going to scratch your hand. Your foot's going to move forward. Your body language is going to identify your victory or identify that you are still stuck. I'm seeing differently. Did that make sense? Why I positioned my words so that it happened right here, right now? If that made sense, say yes, and then we'll go to a next question to make sure we're all on the same page. This right here that I'm sharing with you is the gold that will change your life. Awesome. So here's a recap before we cruise on. We're only going to be on a little bit longer. I just got onto a good tangent I feel would be successful for you to understand and be beneficial for you mostly to execute. If you don't use it, it's shit. I just wasted every piece of energy and thought that I had if you don't use it. Can we all agree now that you will use that by a show of yes? Awesome. You are all awesome people. Okay. So, remember, I feel blank. I'm going to give you the emotional scale of harmonics. If you can identify wherever you're at on this scale, then you know what's returning to you. Okay? First one, enthusiasm. As high as it gets. That's number 7. When you are enthusiastic, that means God is in you. Enthusiasm is number 7. Pain is number 6. Anger is number 5. Fear is number 4. Grief or sorrow or sadness is number 3. Apathy is number 2, which is the mindset of I can't, it's too hard. And number 1 is unconsciousness. This is all in our body language training. And if you're truly looking to take your life and your relationship with yourself to quantum levels, you should go not another day without getting involved in our body language program, because all the stuff that I'm sharing with you right now, I have seen it create miracles on the spot every time. Every time. And I'm not saying that because, whoa, it's not me. I'm just presenting the information and using the cues that their body is telling me to help them create a miracle on the spot if they are willing to play. There was a guy I ran into the gym yesterday. Here's an example. Complete messes his hamstring up multiple times. Like he could barely even walk on it when he came into the gym. So we started talking. He goes, man, my left hamstring has been just messed up because I couldn't even hardly walk when I got in here. I sprang it playing or running or whatever. And I said, well, hey, do I have permission to ask you some questions? He says, yes. I said, okay. Are you having any issues right now with not understanding how to move forward with a female figure in your life? And you look at his face. How did you know that? I'm like, it's body language stuff. Everybody's body's doing it. It's just a matter of whether you're tuned in, tapped on, and turned on to understand what your information is coming up for you. So we talk a little bit more, and I run him through some things. I said, well, do you give yourself permission to understand how to move forward with your partner or whatever her name is? He goes, all right, I give myself permission to understand how to move forward with her name, whatever it was, right? Went on about our conversation, and we parted, and we walked out of the gym together, and we started walking through the gym towards the front door, and I said, hey, man, how's your leg feel right now? And he looked at me, and he's like, you're freaking me out. What did you do? And I'm like, I didn't do anything, man. I'm just helping you to understand what your body is trying to tell you. I just put it into words and help you to express it out of your own mouth verbally in the present tense to where your body understands that you understand what it's trying to say to you, and your body solved its own issue because you understood what to say. Not really rocket science. It is human science, and it's amazing. I've seen miracle after miracle after miracle happen with it. It is by far, out of all the 80,000 hours I have invested in my life, it is by far the most valuable and used skill set that I have. That is what separates me from every other individual on the planet and allows me to charge the people that come into my life that work with me on a one-on-one level a significant amount of money because of the results that I'm able to create and how God uses me to share with them to help them to reach their goal and understand where they're off their mark because their body is giving them all the cues. I just help them to understand it. So I'm about done. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's my gift. I'm running a 6-week challenge right now. And the program is going to be where I'm going to go through and do all of your nutrition, one-on-one, custom nutrition. We'll have a one-on-one phone call. We have a one-on-one group call every week for 6 weeks. You will get our nutrition program at a $4.99 value. You will get one conversation with me that's easily $2,000 of what I would charge someone because of what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to help you structure your nutrition. You'll actually get a body fat measuring device with your tuition. If you are interested and you think that you are a good fit, message me when we're done and we'll have a conversation. I'll give you some more details on it. Here's my gift to you. I have 2 options for you. If you know someone who's interested that would be a good fit for this program and you would like to get yours for free, if you have a friend that would like to do it and you can get them to sign up, the investment is $1,500. $150 of that will go towards your body fat machine. You will actually get our $499 nutrition program, and you get 6 weeks of information and group coaching and one-on-one call for me for 6 weeks. If you know someone interested in that would be a good fit, send them my way. You get to go for free. If you want to bring a friend and split it, I'll do that for you too. And here's the last one. I'm feeling really blessed, so I'm going to share it with you. Here's the deal. If you go to Facebook and Twitter both, and you type away your 3 biggest takeaways of what you got out of tonight's lesson and why you think someone else should play the replay or why you would tweet the replay out, I'm going to take the top 1 person that I feel most moved and resonated with out of this session, and I'm going to gift you my 6-week training program for free. Basically, in essence, saving you $1,500. And I don't even know if I can put a value onto what you're actually going to gain out of it. So if you are up for the challenge, those are your 3 options. I would love to hear from you and know how I can support you. I'll open this last few minutes up for questions. If there's anything I can do to support you, let me know what questions you have. If you are interested in enrolling in our body language program, here's the deal. For the next 30 minutes, I will tell my tech ninja to validate the code. If you go to our website, thinkgreatloseweight.com, you go to body language and you type in the word body in the coupon code. Hit apply. It will drop it from $9.99 to $3.99 for the next 30 minutes. If you are interested in taking advantage of that, there's 4 ways that I can serve you and give you huge value for a huge amount of discounts. If that's for you, then you know where to go. I'm opening up the floor for questions now. If you have any questions, let me know what you got, and let's do it. Hopefully tonight you got some value out of this. 3 feet from gold. Man-made MMA. What's up, my man? You may have to catch a replay, brother. We're about done, unless anybody has any questions specifically. Thank you for stopping by, though. It was great. Thanks. Yes, Kel. Hey, I've been trying to get a hold of Rodney. See if he's got time to chat. Hey, brother, Sarge's off. It's all good. Catch the replay, my man. There's some gold in there for you. No pun intended. 3 feet from gold. There's a lot of good stuff. I think you'll find some serious value in it. He's sick again. Sick again? Who gets sick? Thank you. He's. Yes, sir. Sick. Got time to be sick. Let me know when he gets better. I believe. Thank you. Any tips on how to overcome fear or failure, Rodney? Thank you, Brian. Yes, Jeff. Thank you for stopping by, Jeff. It's good to see your face on there virtually. So fear or failure, let's talk about that. We have a request. Here's the deal. If you're stuck, how to turn knowledge and information into action by getting clear on what your outcome is and executing the information and being willing to change your course to be objective about the results that you're getting. Fear into faith. First off, when you can identify or quote unquote name a thing, for example, if my stomach is tight, this is all body language training I'm sharing with you in our course. If my stomach is tight, that's fear. If I can say, oh wow, notice I feel fear. Get that? I feel fear. All right, now I can do something with that. Then what I do is say, all right, I love my fear into my courage and my faith. Scripturally speaking, perfect love casteth out fear. Perfect love casteth out anything, including fear. So I love my fear into my courage and my faith. And I give myself permission to move forward. And your body's going to do body language. That's how fast it happens. You'll take a breath down into your stomach and then play ball. Any questions outside of that? That's all I got right now. Going 3, 2, 1. That's it. Love it. Definitely watch the replay. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. My pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. Have an awesome night. No, I'm out. Good night, brother. Awesome. Y'all have a good night. I love you and I appreciate you always. And I will more than likely be back tomorrow doing something similar and probably completely different. So have an awesome night. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.